culture. Everything is permitted.
Welcome to episode 71 of Everything is Permitted here at Wade's Comic Madness. I'm your captain and host, Julian Brown, alongside my co-hosts, the Man of Steel, Matt Reppert, and the Master of Puns, Brittany Tomes. How does it go, guys? In darkest night, in something light?
No evil shall escape my sight. Let those who worship evil's might beware my power, Green Lantern's light.
I knew you would know it.
I knew Brittany would know it.
It's in brightest day and blackest night.
Thank you. That's the one. I say that because we have special guests on the show today. We're surrounded by about 30 of the Green Lantern Corps.
Might be the entire Green Lantern Corps.
It might be the entire Green Lantern Corps. So, hi Green Lanterns. Thanks for guarding the table while we record today.
That's a lie. There's no Kilowog, so it is not the entire
I think
Corps.
there's a traitor among them, though.
I do believe there is.
Sinestro was green, then he goes yellow.
I know.
Look, his lantern's there. It's foreshadowing.
Oh,
yeah.
Anyway, all the different Lantern Corps have different mottos and like little rhymes.
I didn't know that.
So like the inverse of them, like it literally says like in blackest day, in brightest night, like and then it's the opposite. Like oh my god, I'm so excited. Anyway, we're good. We're done.
We had to.
I picture like these lantern corps getting together. Like, all right, guys, we need a catchy thing. Like, what rhymes?
Let's
like,
come up with some haikus.
I mean, like
Karnak's over there has a good first line.
Blues are cool. Reds start to get really weird. They're like ragey and like bloodlust.
Is anyone shocked about that?
No, because we know color themes and color theory.
Yep.
Maybe as an audience, I don't know.
They're here because I felt really bad about having to try and move them because Joe's been doing incredible work sorting through literally, I think, the most toys I've ever seen in one location at one time, even more than Toys R Us. So we kept the Green Lanterns put, so they're here with us. I'm excited. It's cool. We have a good show for you today. This week, we are going to be going down the list of Rotten Tomatoes 100 most rotten films of all time. And off mic, Matt was like, man, I saw some of these in theaters and I'm a little
sad about
Yeah.
that.
I don't think I'm going to defend any of these films. I was going through so far and I was like, I don't know.
So
I have to look again. There was one or two that I was like, well, this wasn't that bad.
We're gonna power through some of them. We're gonna stick and talk about some of them. It'll be a great time. And then we're also going to stay in the film and television realm, though I kind of know that I'm going to mention at least one or two video games during this because I always break the rules anyway.
That changes everything.
It does, I know. And talk about some of the most hard-hitting moments we've ever watched or played. We have some odds and ends. We are going to quickly go over the 2020 Emmy noms brought to you by Walt Disney.
And we brought Emmy noms.
We did bring Emmy noms.
Get it, noms?
I get it.
They're munchkins.
I get it.
Anyway, today I'm feeling like Homer Simpson. Because, donut.
Some announcements. So, obviously, we didn't have it last month, and you guys have waited long enough. Raiders of the Bargain Bin will return on episode 72 next week. Very excited.
Oh, God, what are we watching that thing that Matt said we were watching?
Are we watching Bratz?
I mean, I'm still pulling for it. You guys
I guess we're watching Bratz.
Man.
Wait, can we watch Bratz? And then as a palate cleanser, can we watch that Russian movie Coma?
Like right after.
So it'll pull us out of it.
I mean, if you guys want, I'm totally down.
Double
Actually,
feature.
I will. The Blu-ray, the Steelbook Blu-ray arrives at my house on Tuesday for Coma. So
Oh,
I
God.
can
I
bring
thought
it
you meant
over.
Bratz at first. I was like,
Oh, yeah,
Oh.
no. My 4K special edition of Bratz arrives
Well, hold
Tuesday.
on. Here's the conundrum. One of us is going to have to buy or rent and actually spend money on Bratz. Just putting that out there.
I just want to throw it out there that I'm the one who had to purchase Friend Request.
You volunteered to purchase
I
Friend
did.
Request. There is a big difference.
I did it for ADC, and I still regret it.
Renting Bratz will cost about $3 because that's where I've seen it. And like, I know in Voodoo it has it for rent.
You know what? I have two younger cousins. Like
think they own it?
kids that would that I just mean like if I rented it, they would watch it.
Oh, man.
Wait, you have a daughter?
So
I don't think you'd
He's
want her to watch
He's like, I
Bratz.
don't want her to watch Bratz.
I don't think Bratz is what
Wait,
you want her to watch.
she's watching She-Ra, so I think her tastes, like, she'll be heightened to a level where she'll be like, Bratz is beneath me now.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Didn't she get into like makeup or something for a time? I don't know if she still
she's
was.
still. Oh yeah, hardcore.
Because
still.
Bratz is, I think is all about that life, and you don't want her to be like, I love Bratz.
But Brittany will be proud because now all Cecily does is go around the house like running around saying, "For the power and honor of Grayskull," and I'm like, yes.
That's so rude that you started with power, but you caught yourself. So I'm proud.
I did catch myself. I knew I screwed it up.
He's like, He-Man, retract.
Yep.
Oh man,
I love her. I love that show.
It's
Oh my
so
God.
good. We're through season 2 now. So I didn't know that the seasons were shorter as the show goes on.
Well, it was weird. Like season 2 and 3 are shortened, but then the rest are full.
Oh, cool. Okay, good to know. So
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I didn't realize there was like even 2 seasons.
I'm going even further off topic here because I'm looking directly at Matt, and right past Matt is something that brings me back to my teenage years when episode 3 came out.
Yeah.
There's a box for an Obi-Wan Kenobi Star Wars Unleashed figure. Those figures
those
were
were
the
awesome.
tits.
Yeah.
They were so damn good. I still have my Anakin and Obi-Wan.
Hello
Is
there.
that the, can you see that one? Is that the Mustafar one, or is that a different one?
I hope it is because that's what the background looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks very
So
Mustafar.
the Anakin and Obi-Wans that came out for Revenge of the Sith, you put together and
Yeah.
they're dueling, and like the detail on those figures for then was freaking fantastic.
My brother and I had those.
Yeah, I,
feel like
still have them.
I feel like we could spend an entire episode just describing crap that is around us as we're sitting down
Done.
here.
August episode,
Yeah.
we're gonna talk toys.
We're gonna be like, what's
one
in
of the
these
episodes
bins?
this month? We're talking toys.
Oh my god! Just imagine we don't not like tear the space apart, but just like find something that's interesting and just be like this fucking thing.
Yeah, dude, I like.
We can
this
talk
idea.
about toys that we remember, and
Yeah.
then we can also be like, look at this box. That's all Transformers. It's overflowing.
Oh my god!
It's insane.
Can't wait. Also, coming up. So listen, the world's still burning. So with everything going on, we're not really gonna outline the rest of August. We're just gonna make it up as we go along, which is what we've kind of been doing for that past couple of months anyway. After this, we only have 4 more episodes in the season, so we'll try and make them as fun and interesting as possible. We may, and this is a big may, theaters apparently are still reopening before or during Labor Day weekend, which is, I think, when our show is going to record this last episode. If that is the case, we will see Tenet and we will review it. That's a big if.
So tentatively keep that date.
Yes,
You're welcome.
that was good.
That's all I
That
do.
was good. We will have some awesome bonus pods for you. Like we mentioned last week, we're going to be doing a Ghost of Tsushima bonus pod, and I think Brittany's been powering through Last of Us, so I think we're going to have 2 video game themed bonus pods for you this month. So keep a lookout for those. Our patrons and Brittany, if people want to be able to listen to those bonus pods, how can they do that?
Well, hooey there, cowboy. If you're interested in any of our bonus pods here on our show, Julian is sucking away at his iced coffee. He hates me already. He wants to mute me. I can
I
tell.
was so tempted to hit that button the minute you went, howdy there.
It's just randomly popped in my head. Like, Yosemite Sam. You can head on over to everythingispermitted.com. Hit that little Patreon tab. Head on over to our Patreon and you can select $2 a month, $5 a month. I think that's it, but that would be cooler if you wanted to give us more dollars a month. Sorry, I broke character for a second. Anyway, you can look at the little descriptions under each of those sections, and you can decide which you prefer. But you have access to really awesome bonus pods. You can help us come up with topics for our episodes. You get really cool stickers. There's so much cool stuff. Why don't you just do it? And plus, on top of that, you can be an Eat Veep. You can put the sticker on the back of your Jeep.
Oh my God.
Jesus.
Are you, I have to ask, and I really hope it's not the case, but you're not like George Bushing right now, are you?
That's up to our viewers. Nah, I'm a little more eloquent, I think. Nuclear. Remember when he used to say that?
Oh my God.
Mission accomplished.
Oh my God.
You gave me like 4 munchkins. I don't know what you expected.
I don't know if I was expecting that. Matt, if people just want to support us in other ways besides our Patreon, how can they do that?
By going to wherever you listen to Everything is Permitted, whether that be on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, etc., and giving us hopefully a 5-star review because we put out such great content for you.
Ding, 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 ding.
Okay, I said great content. Please,
You know that
please give us 5.
that great show on ESPN, Around the Horn. And like, if someone was being muted, they just mute him. Brittany's on a 30-second timeout. Actually, I can't 30-second timeout her because she has some thanks that she needs to give.
Oh my! Look who's come back round to the ranch now. My mom's from Texas, so I feel.
Where's Mal Reynolds when you need him?
I swear by my pretty little bonnet, I will end you. Anyway. Ooh-wee, special thanks to these cowpokes. Billy Peets, Heather Rippert, Rob Migliaccio, Michael Cox, Nicky Beasy, Matt Moore, Cabrillo Wimbush, Rob Carter, and Anthony Matarese. Ding ding.
You know, it's been so fucking hot. I think that the heat has just finally like gotten to you.
When I told you today's been a day, like my mind is just.
Yeah, apparently. So that 30-second timeout is taking place now, which means, Matt, I'm going to start with you. Rant or rave today, my friend?
So you guys mentioned it. I actually was able to watch it last night. I didn't give it the full focus, but I actually did watch Coma. And I watched it with a couple people. Like we were just sitting up at our desk and, you know, I'm getting trained up there. And it was a very decent movie. I'm not going to say it was great. There was a couple little things I could have nitpicked, but it was nice to watch a movie that had an original premise, original idea that I had no expectations going into. We watched it in Russian. We didn't watch it in the English dub. And I was very happy with it, actually. I mean, I don't know if the people that were with me, if they liked it as much as I did, but from what I was able to kind of focus on, I did love its premise and how it kind of went about it.
Nice. Very cool.
Mm-hmm. Am I unmuted now?
Yeah. I took you off timeout.
Yay. I was going to say, cool. It makes me want to watch it now.
Yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
I already want to watch it, but now I'm more excited.
Yeah, definitely. I can bring it over and we can watch it after press.
Oh, God.
Yes. I'm ready for a double feature.
All right there, cowpoke. What do you got?
I just have one rave. I'll keep it short. But Last of Us 2 is amazing. And if you know me, you already know I'll rant forever about it. So that's all I'm going to say. Just follow my Twitter and talk to me in real life and I can rant forever. Like, I could play this game forever.
I mean, you did that one day, like 18 hours straight.
Yeah, and that's always what happens when I don't play video games for a long time and I finally get to. I'm just like, nobody talk to me today. I'm going to finally play video games for the first time in like months.
Fair. I have a rave, and that is on our sister show, A Strange New Pod. We recorded our big Spock episode last night, and in preparation, we watched a shit ton of like kind of essential Spock stuff. I was sitting on my couch and was watching Amok Time and Journey to Babel, Wrath of Khan, Search for Spock, Unification parts 1 and 2 from TNG. And my rave is the fact that what's really cool is that even though these span 2 different series and a movie universe, even though they're all connected, they were references to each other spanning hundreds of years, which I thought was really cool. Like there was that one guy in the writer's room who was smart enough to be like, this Persian, your southern drawl is rubbing off
This varmint right here.
So what I'll briefly say is that in the episode Amok Time, when Spock has to go back to Vulcan because he's gotten all Pon farr, he the person who oversees the wedding and the duel is T'Pau. And T'Pau was the head Vulcan main bitch. Like she oversaw everything, and she's famous because she's the one Vulcan who ever turned down a seat on the Federation Council. And what was cool about that is that she's mentioned, I think in the movies, and then she's also in Enterprise for an episode, which Eric told me, and then. What's even cooler in Unification Parts 1 and 2, which is the Spock episode of TNG, a ship that the Enterprise is hunting down is named the T'Pau. So it's just like these cool little references, and there's even more because, anything kind of relating to Spock would kind of reference back to each other. And I thought that was like, Star Trek's cool in that way where I feel like Star Trek is the one universe where they've really tried to stay as true and like faithful to continuity as possible. So I appreciated that. It was cool watching some Trek. Matt's
No, I thought of something. Never. So keep going.
well, no, that is my rave. I like Star Trek continuity. It makes me happy. So
Yeah, there was a lot of good, like, connected things in those episodes.
Indeed.
I was like, I get that reference.
Yeah. So fun times. Matt, did you think, was your other thing another rant or rave?
No. It's going to be for a later segment. I wanted to add something to my emotional.
It's a Star Trek thing. I know
is
it
not.
is. Oh, no?
It is
Oh.
not. It is an entirely different show.
Okay.
Intrigue.
Well, we're moving right along this week. If that is the case, then it is time for
Permitted minute. Woohoo!
I guess I gotta keep this voice. It's time for the permitted minute.
That is highly illogical. It is the permitted minute.
I'm losing his pattern, Captain.
I'm losing. I just don't have the power.
I don't have a transporter lock for that hillbilly down the road. He's gonna have to stay.
There's definitely a hillbilly episode of Star Trek: The Original Series.
There always is.
There's always some wild way.
There's the Irish hillbillies in TNG. If you remember that episode.
Which one? I'm trying
There's
to remember
always
that
Nazis.
There's
there's always Nazis.
I think there's a planet
The
in
West?
dispute with like the Romulans or a different race, and like they have to basically like beam up the Irish colony.
There's
and,
frickin' Robin Hood in the Star Trek
Yeah,
universe.
There's always an episode where they time travel to the time period that you're currently in while you're watching it.
yes.
You know,
Oh no, that's
like,
how you save money on episodes, right there.
exactly. Like in Voyager, where they're like, it's 1996, and I'm just like, why is Tuvok wearing a do-rag?
Why are these shirts so awful? It is, in fact, the permitted minute, and we are going to go here in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Mr. Gaeta, start the clock.
The spice must flow. The first trailer for Denis Villeneuve's Dune will debut sometime this month.
And some very cool news. The upcoming Blu-ray for Batman, Death in the Family will allow viewers to guide the story. Also, Watchmen had a good week, picking up 26 Emmy nods, which leads the pack. Shows like The Mandalorian and Picard were also nominated.
If rumors are to be believed, Captain Marvel 2 will feature Miss Marvel and many other Avengers, being called a mini Avengers movie. More news on Tenet. The film will open up internationally in 70 countries, starting on August 26th, and select theaters in the U.S. Labor Day weekend.
In news about a sequel that no one wants, Courtney Cox will reprise her role as Gale Weathers in Scream 5. I can't keep a straight face. After months of being petty, AMC and Universal have struck a new deal that will shorten the theatrical release window of Universal's films to just 17 days and then will be made available for home video release. Did it with 10 seconds left.
You know,
Yeah.
you know what I just thought of? Like, kids in history classes learn about the New Deal, and it's like, you know, a historical thing. Now in future textbooks, it'll be like the second New Deal. It'll be like AMC and Universal put aside their differences.
Disney buys Fox.
Oh, God, yeah.
Right?
Jesus
I know.
Christ. Monopolies.
Speaking of monopolies, let's talk about the Emmys, guys.
Oh, Jesus.
Good segue.
I thought so.
Yay! Oh.
We're going to go through this list, try and get through this nice and quick. I'm going to just start at the top of the list I have here. We're going to start right at Outstanding Comedy Series, Curb Your Enthusiasm, no one's shocked there. Dead to Me from Netflix, Insecure on HBO, Schitt's Creek on Pop TV, which I thought was on Netflix.
It is. Heather watched like the entire thing except for I
Talking
think
about
the
Schitt's Creek?
Yeah, Schitt's Creek. I think the last season wasn't on Netflix.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
like it's not on yet, but
Yeah.
that's a great show. I love that show.
The Good
didn't
Place,
like
which is what was its final season from NBC, The Kaminsky Method on Netflix, The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, which is on Prime and Karen absolutely loves, and then a show that I think we all love at this table, FX, What We Do in the Shadows. This fucking guy.
So, my feeling is What We Do in the Shadows should probably win, but I have a feeling it won't because I think they're going to go towards like Schitt's Creek or
fucking Curb Your Enthusiasm.
maybe. I could also see The Good Place just because like both of those shows ended. So
Yeah, they
they-
had their
Marvelous
last
Mrs.
seasons.
Maisel last year cleaned up, so that so I don't know, that could also be in there. I wish What We Do in the Shadows would win.
What We Do in the Shadows is a fantastic goddamn show.
So damn good.
The Mark Hamill episode was so freaking funny.
I still need to watch all that show.
Jim the Vampire.
Jim and what was his alias?
Tony Dakota. Tony Dakota runs from no
Daytona.
Daytona.
I'm
that's it.
Tony Daytona.
when he takes the toothpick out of his mouth, and Mark Hamill's like because he legit didn't recognize.
So I see the jig is up. If you mean by the jig, this establishment.
I wonder, is the show as unscripted as like the movie was? Because half of that they would just keep the camera rolling.
I don't know
I feel
how
like
much.
I feel like some parts of it are, but most of it is a tightly written script, and it's a very funny
so
show.
Fucking funny. My favorite episode, I still think, is the one where
The
Colin
trial is mine.
Colin like starts
getting more powerful. He just grows his hair and
Yeah,
everything.
dude.
How you doing, Colin? Like, you give a shit.
Outstanding lead actor in a comedy series, Don Cheadle as Mo Monroe on Black Monday, which is a show I actually want to watch. It's on Showtime.
Never heard of that one.
Anthony Anderson as Andre Dre Johnson Sr. on Blackish, Rami Youssef as Rami on Rami, Eugene Levy as Johnny Rose on Schitt's Creek, Ted Danson as Michael on The Good Place, and Michael Douglas, I didn't even know he was still acting, as Sandy Kaminsky in The Kaminsky Method, which I hear is a good show. I had no idea he was in it. Moving right along to outstanding lead actress in a comedy series, we have Tracy Ellis Ross as Rainbow Johnson in Blackish, Linda
Cardinelli.
Thank you, as Judy Hale on Dead to Me, which is a show I do want to watch. Christina Applegate as Jen Harding, Dead to Me. Issa Rae as Issa in Insecure. Catherine O'Hara from Schitt's Creek, and then Rachel Brosnan, I would assume, as Miriam Midge. She's Mrs. Maisel on the Outstanding Mrs. Maisel. We're just going to keep going here until we get something that we want to talk about. Supporting actor in a comedy series, Andre Braugher for 9-9.
Vindication!
We'll just play it because we can.
Vindication.
Moving right along, Mahershala Ali as Sheikh Malik on Rami, Kenan Thompson as various characters on SNL, Daniel Levy as David Rose on Schitt's Creek. Wait, is that a typo? Are there two Daniel Levys?
No, that's his
it's his dad.
Yeah. They literally play father and son
That's
in the show.
funny.
Too.
William Jackson Harper as Chitty Gagne on The Good Place. Sorry
Chitty
if
Gagne.
Thank you, I fucked that up. Alan Arkin, legend, as Norman Newlander on The Kaminsky Method. Sterling K. Brown as Reggie on The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. I love him; he's a great actor. And Tony Shalhoub as Abe Wiseman. Abe Wiseman, the Sausage King from Chicago. That's Abe Froman.
That's Abe Froman.
Sorry.
Yeah. That's pretty funny.
On The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. Outstanding supporting actress in a comedy series, we have Betty Gilpin as Debbie Egan on Glow, which is a great show. I only watched the first season so
I
far.
still need to watch that.
It's good.
I keep telling Heather we should watch it.
Yeah. Yvonne Orji as Molly in Insecure. Kate McKinnon, SNL.
Love her.
She's amazing. Cecily Strong on SNL. Annie Murphy as Alexis Rose on Schitt's Creek. Darcy Carden as Janet on The Good Place. Marin Hinkle as Rose Wiseman and Mrs. Maisel. Alex Borstein as Susie Meyerson, Marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
Some of these are going to be really hard.
They are.
Like,
Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna just point it out there. I'm really disappointed. No one for comedy has been nominated from What We Do in the Shadows.
Yeah, and that's. I think its time is coming, though. I
hope
I
so.
think next.
once these other shows die out.
Pretty much.
Yeah, because I think a lot of them are ending. That SNL I guess will never end. But moving on to this is a cool category that the Emmys have. They have outstanding guest actor in a comedy series, so it's not even supporting. It's like a step below supporting, but that gives other people, I guess, an opportunity to get nominated. The legendary Frank Willard, who I think passed away.
Yeah, was it from Space Force? Was it
For Modern Family, playing
okay.
Frank Dunphy, and then Dev Patel as Joshua on Modern Love. Brad Pitt's getting a ton of play because he played Dr. Fauci on SNL. Adam Driver hosting SNL, he did a great job. Eddie Murphy making his big comeback hosting SNL. And then Luke Kirby as Lenny Bruce on The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. A lot of love for SNL this year, I guess, because Trump's easy to make fun of.
Yeah. They didn't have to come up with any original material at all. They were just like, let's watch the news for 5 minutes.
I still love one of the clips from SNL where Matt Damon played Brett Kavanaugh at his congressional hearing.
Yes.
And he's just drinking water constantly. me and Fatty and the boys. He just like slams like a whole jug of water.
We are moving on to guest actress in a comedy series. We have Angela Bassett, a legend, as Mo, a Black Lady sketch show. Maya Rudolph for SNL. She played Senator Kamala Harris, also presidential nominee. Phoebe Waller-Bridge hosting SNL. She's fantastic. Maya Rudolph as the judge on The Good Place. Wanda Sykes, legend, as Moms Mobley, The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, and Bette Midler, of all people. Wow.
Bette Midler.
Hadassah Gold on The Politician. So, I'm just not going to go over directing because
it's all the same shows we've mentioned.
Same thing for writing. Well, actually, I'm going to go over writing because we'll be happy about this. Schitt's Creek got 2 writing nods. The Good Place got 1. The Great, which I've never heard of, got 1. And then this is awesome. What We Do in the Shadows is up for 1, 2, 3 writing nods for best writing on a comedy series for Collaboration, Ghosts, and On the Run. I don't know all the episode titles.
On the Run is the Jackie Daytona episode. That has to
Jackie
be
Daytona.
Jackie Daytona.
It's Jackie, yeah.
Runs from no man.
Really got into volleyball. Not gonna let those girls down.
I'm so sad I missed. I have to watch the.
You have to watch
I've only
it.
seen one episode, and I was like, "This is hilarious," and then I just didn't watch the rest.
The trial in the first season is one of my favorite comedy things ever. Just all the
so
guest
good.
stars and all the original movie cast shows up too in that episode, and it's funny as hell.
This is where it starts to get good. Outstanding Drama Series 2020, Better Call Saul from AMC. Brittany, do you want to just read this one?
Killing Eve. That's all you got to say.
BBC America. Ozark, which I believe my brother loves and watches.
Heather loves Ozark.
Netflix. Stranger Things,
Love
Netflix.
it.
Succession on HBO. I love this show. Very happy to see it get nominated. The Crown on Netflix. Handmaid's Tale, which I didn't know was still running.
Yeah.
I mean,
and
it's
then
more relevant than ever.
let's see. Do I still have the sound bites?
I hope you do.
Let's see. I don't have the main theme soundbite, but I do have this, so I will play it. Our favorite show.
Baby Yoda, floating in the pod, Baby Yoda, levitating a horn monster, Baby Yoda.
That made me so happy. I haven't heard that in so long, and I just got thrown back to pre-pandemic times at your Christmas party.
That's right. The Mandalorian has been nominated for Outstanding Drama Series, which makes me incredibly fucking happy, and I'm a little shocked. How about this, right? Let's look at the world today. The Mandalorian got nominated, but Picard did not for Outstanding Drama Series.
Picard wasn't deserving of it.
I agree with you, but I feel like the people who do these usually go the opposite way. So, I don't know. Moving on to, we're going to go to lead actors in a drama series. Jason Bateman as Martin Marty Bird in Ozark. Billy Porter as Pray Tell in Posse? Or is it Pose or Posse?
Pose.
Thanks. You never know.
It's
You never
I
know.
know.
Brian Cox, legend, as Logan Roy in Succession. Jeremy Strong as Kendall Roy in Succession. Steve Carell as Mitch Kessler in The Morning Show, which is on Apple TV Plus that I do want to watch. And then Sterling K. Brown as Randall Pearson in this.
Sterling K. Brown, just want to throw that out there, is also a fantastic voice actor, and he does voices in She-Ra.
Oh, nice. Is he one of the dads?
I can't tell you yet. You haven't gotten far enough.
I feel like Brittany's going to play 6 Degrees of She-Ra at this point.
Yeah.
It's more like if anybody's ever done voice acting, I'm like, here we go. I'll tell you their whole.
He's a great actor, period.
Yeah,
I love
he's
him.
incredible.
Yeah. Lead actress in a drama series, Zendaya as Rue in Euphoria, which is a very controversial show from everything I understand about it. Jodie Comer. Oh, sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
Jodie Comer as Villanelle in Killing Eve. And then my next fave, Sandra Oh as Eve Pilastri. Just kidding. Eve Pilastri in Killing Eve.
Then we have Laura Linney, legend. So many legendary actors moving from film to TV.
I every time have you ever watched Last Week Time with John Oliver?
Oh God, yes.
Did you see the episode a couple years back when they bought those wax presidents?
Yes.
Then they did that thing with
Yes.
Harding, and whenever I hear Laura Linney, I always think of a thing. And Laura fucking
Linney.
Linney.
Yep. She plays Wendy Bird on Ozark. Olivia Colman, so well deserving, taking it up from going to be horrible. Can't remember the actress's name who played her before as Queen Elizabeth II in The Crown, and then finally Jennifer Aniston as Alex Levy on The Morning Show. By the way, I'm really happy that there's internet down here because I didn't know that this wouldn't just keep scrolling and loading. So I keep having to hit next.
Don't jinx it, man. The Wi-Fi's been horrible here
It
recently.
has indeed. Moving along to Outstanding Supporting Actor in a Drama Series, we have our man Giancarlo Esposito as Gus Fring in Better Call Saul. Can't wait to see more of him in The Mandalorian. Yes, and starring in the next Far Cry.
Yeah.
Honestly, and I will give him credit, it's Better Call Saul has, in my opinion, it's pretty much as good as Breaking Bad at this point.
I've never seen either show.
Breaking Bad is obviously a classic that people wouldn't shut up about, but if you watch Breaking Bad and haven't watched Better Call Saul, you need to go watch it. It is fantastic what they've done with
One
it.
day I'm going to finally get around and just binging those. We have Matthew McFadden as Tom Wamsgans in Succession. Nicholas Braun as Greg Hirsch in Succession. Kieran Culkin, I guess he's Macaulay's brother.
Yeah.
As Roman Roy in Succession. Succession getting a lot of love.
Yeah.
Bradley Whitford, legend from our favorite West Wing. At least I love.
I was
that
literally
show.
going to say West Wing. Yeah. I was like, wait, that ended.
Also in a great movie in Get Out. He played.
Yeah.
He's also in Handmaid's Tale.
Yep.
That's when I knew not to trust him.
And that's what he
As soon
got
as I
nominated
saw him
for.
show up.
Matt is for
Okay.
Handmaid's Tale. Billy Crudup as Corey Ellison in The Morning Show. Mark Duplass as Charles Tripp Black in The Morning Show. Also getting a lot of love. I have to watch the show. And then I love this guy, Jeffrey Wright as Bernard in Westworld. So
I will say something in favor of the Emmys is that the Emmys seems a much harder pick than the Oscars do.
Yes.
In terms of best actors, actresses, and all that, because there's like legit like great talent all around. While like the Oscars, I'm like, this person is clearly the favorite and is going to
right.
win.
Yeah.
I don't know. You guys didn't win the Oscar thing this year. Your wife did.
My wife did.
Julian's still like Parasite.
Parasite, even though you were so good.
I almost won though.
Yeah, you did. Moving right along, Outstanding Supporting Actress in a Drama Series. Bum, 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 bum.
Jurassic Park Mom.
Laura Dern as Renetta Klein in Big Little Lies. Meryl Streep, wow, as Mary Louise Wright in Big Little Lies. Fiona Shaw as Carolyn Martens in, sorry, would you like to do that one?
Carolyn Martins.
In
That's how she
Killing
talks.
Eve.
I should just do their voices.
You should. Julie Garner as Ruth Langmore in Ozark. Sarah Snook as Shiv Roy in Succession. Helena Bonham Carter as Princess Margaret. She killed it in The Crown. She was fantastic. Samira Wiley as Moira in The Handmaid's Tale. And Sandy Newton
I love
as
her.
Maeve in Westworld. Helena Bonham Carter, wow. Did she, like... Everybody, I feel like, looks at her as like Beatrix Lestrange from Harry Potter and like a lot of the other like Tim Burton movies that she was in. But man, like she's just a completely different actress. Does so well playing Margaret in The Crown. Like I can't get
I feel
enough
like
of
I
that
like
show.
every role she's ever done.
Yeah.
Like I've never disliked a role.
Well, she also had experience playing a royal because she was Elizabeth's mother in The King's Speech.
That's right.
The Queen Mum. She played.
Right.
This is actually quite good fun, Bertie.
Moving on to Outstanding Guest Actor in a Drama Series. Andrew Scott as Chris Galani in Black Mirror. The legendary James Cromwell as Ewan Roy, Succession. He played Zephyr Cochrane in Star Trek First Combat.
That's a reference.
It is.
Wasn't he also in Doctor Sleep as like the oldest dude that died in the
Maybe.
group?
I don't know.
This nomination gets me fucking excited. Giancarlo Esposito as Moff Gideon in the fucking Mandalorian. That's a nod right there.
That's a nod, but I don't think he was in long enough for him to get it. I think that.
But it was a moment when he pops out of that.
I think Giancarlo Esposito's moment for Mandalorian will come next season.
I agree. Martin Short as Dick Lundy in The Morning Show. Jason Bateman as
Yes. Sorry, when I saw him up there earlier for comedy, I was like, where the fuck is the outsider? You can go ahead. I just got so excited. Sorry.
Well, it's right here. Jason Bateman as Terry Maitland from The Outsider. Yeah?
Stephen King story that they made
Oh,
into a TV
right, the
show.
HBO show.
That's the one I was ranting about a little while ago. Dude. That
Yeah,
book and
I
that
gotta
show
watch that.
are like intense, but he does an incredible, like when I watched that, I was just like, Jason fucking Bateman. Holy shit.
Yeah. We have Ron Cephas Jones as William Hill, and This Is Us. So a great guest actor list right there. Dude, I was so happy to see that Giancarlo Esposito got nominated because he was just so powerful. And like for the, 5 or 6 minutes he actually had, so good. Outstanding guest actress in a drama series. We have Cecily Tyson as Ophelia Harkness in How to Get Away with Murder. Karen and I watched like the first 2 seasons of that show, but I'm like, how much longer can they get away with murder?
I think however many seasons the show runs.
Right.
You see the last episode and you're like, I guess they finally didn't get away with it.
Yeah, right. Laverne Cox as Sophia Brissett in Orange is the New Black, which we stopped watching after I think 3 or 4 seasons.
Was it after Poussey died?
I think it was after Poussey died.
That's what happened to me too. I immediately was like, I can't do this anymore.
Harriet Walter as Lady Caroline Collingwood in Succession. Cherry Jones, legendary. She played the president in, I think, the last season of 24, if I'm not mistaken, as Nan Pierce in Succession. Alexis Bledel as Emily in The Handmaid's Tale, and Felicia Rashad as Carol Clark in This Is Us. All right, here we go. This is where it gets good again, and this one gets me excited. Outstanding directing for a drama series. Leslie Linka Glatter for Prisoners of War for Showtime. The final season of Showtime, thanks, guys. The final season of Homeland was freaking fantastic. I love Claire Danes. She made that role in the show her own. It's fantastic. We have Alik Sakharov for the episode Fire Pink for Ozark. Also Ben Samanoff for Sukasa S. Mikasa for Ozark. Hunting by Andrzej Perek for Succession. And This Is Not for Tears, Mark Malloyd for Succession. Benjamin Caron, Aberfan for Netflix's The Crown, and Brittany, you could help me with the French. Jessica Hobbs for
Cri de Coeur.
For The Crown, and for Apple TV Plus's The Morning Show, Mimi Letter, The Interview on The Morning Show. We won't do limited series.
Watchmen.
But we will say that Watchmen picked up 3 outstanding directing for a limited series.
Oh, do you guys
nods.
want to know a fun fact about Claire Danes since you mentioned her?
Yes.
She was the voice of Princess Mononoke, the English dub version.
Interesting.
Yep.
I'm not going to do reality program, though. If you want to watch Top Chef, this is a
Shameless plug.
shameless plug for Everything is Delicious, our bonus pod for this past season of Top Chef. The episode that got nominated is actually interesting. They honored the late, great Jonathan Gold, who basically was the top critic for Los Angeles restaurants and had a deep respect for the industry, built up a lot of restaurants that were up and coming. It was one of the first episodes of the season. It was really good. So that episode got nominated. We won't do variety series. We won't do variety specials. Moving right along.
Is that the Super Bowl halftime
Yeah,
show?
it is.
Jesus Christ.
Exactly.
The commercials are the only reason I
we
watch.
won't do documentaries.
No.
Tiger King did get nominated.
Oh my!
This one will be a shameful plug.
Yes.
Check out our Tiger King bonus pod.
Indeed.
Jesus.
It's good.
Heather started watching that, by the way, and I watched an episode or two, and I'm like, all these people are fucking
I
terrible.
literally came
they're
home and
horrible
my family
Every
was
single
watching it.
person in here is a
Yeah.
terrible human
Oh
being.
yeah, they all need to be in jail.
This is a fun category. Outstanding fantasy sci-fi costumes. I feel like we have to talk about this. Carnival Row, which I don't think you guys watched.
I haven't watched
I
it
watched
yet.
Oh, you did watch
I didn't
it.
finish it, but I watched it.
Love this show. That got nominated. The Handmaid's Tale got nominated. The Mandalorian for Chapter 3, The Sin got nominated, and Watchmen and Westworld. We're not going to do host for a competition program. Actually, I will. Padma and Tom for Top Chef got nominated. Yay.
Okay, well just fuck Queer Eye then.
Yep. Fucking Queer Eye. No kidding.
I love Karamo.
Karamo Brown, Anton Porowski, Tan France, Bobby Burke, and Jonathan Van Ness for Queer Eye.
It should be Anthony. They messed up on their own page.
So since we already did 2, I'll just do next because we watched the show as well. Amy Poehler is a co-host on Making It, which is a really fun show. And this is Cecily watches this show. She freaking loves it. It's on Netflix. Nicole Byers, the host, nailed it, where they basically cart out a cake, like a really detailed cake, and they have 3 not good chefs, and they're like, make this cake the way it looks exactly.
Oh my god.
It's really good. RuPaul, the host of RuPaul's Drag Race. Damon John, Barbara Corcoran, Mark Cuban, Lori Grainer, Kevin O'Leary, and Robert Herjavec, our host of Shark Tank. Moving along. Not going to do these. Oh, Matt, this will make you so happy. The World According to Jeff Goldblum was nominated for Outstanding Hosted Nonfiction Series.
That has to
or
be just
special.
from lack of selection.
Yeah, I feel like that it's
The
kind
ice
of a
cream
slow-
episode stressed me out. I was sweating by the time I left your house. I was like, I can't.
Oh, God, I still can't believe I sat through that episode.
We're going to go to Outstanding Lead Actor in a Limited Series or Movie. Hugh Jackman as Frank Tassone in Bad Education. Jeremy Pope as Archie Coleman in Hollywood. Mark Ruffalo as Dominic Birdsey, Thomas Birdsey, and I know this is much true. This much is true. Paul Mescal as Connell in Normal People, and Jeremy Irons as Adrian Veidt / I don't know these characters.
Okay, Adrian Veidt / Ozymandias.
Thank you for Watchmen.
He's probably going to win.
I think Watchmen will
Yeah.
probably clean up.
Jeremy
I
Irons
think,
is really good as him.
yeah.
They love politics, and that was like totally.
I've
Yeah.
only seen most of the first episode, and I need
Haven't
to go-
watched it yet.
I need to go back.
Gotta
and
watch
watch
the
it.
whole thing.
First episode fucked me up.
Outstanding Lead Actress in a Limited Series or Movie. Kerry Washington as Mia Warren in Little Fires Everywhere. Kate Blanchett as Phyllis Schalfly as Mrs. America. Octavia Spencer, Madame C.J. Walker, Self-Made. Shira Haas as Esther Shira Haas as Esther Shapiro in Unorthodox. If you
I
have
heard
not
about that.
watched Unorthodox yet, watch it. It's a big reason, even though I'm a Jew, why I have a massive problem with my religion. It just is a fantastic series. It's short, but it's must watch, and you should watch the making of after you watch it.
Isn't it based on like a true story?
It is.
Ugh,
Yep.
Yeah.
And then Regina King. I hope Shira Haas wins because she fucking deserves it. Regina King as Angela Abar, Sister Knight in Watchmen.
I love her.
Moving along, this is lighting. We don't need to talk about lighting. God, they nominate everything for the Emmys.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, oh my God, how many nominations?
Hey, if you're a
stuff was
lighting
there?
person and you work on TV, this is what you look forward to your whole life.
This is actually.
I've been waiting my whole life
I am
for
a
this.
huge fan of title sequences, and title sequences get a nomination here. Abstract, The Art of Design, Carnival Row, Godfather of Harlem, The Morning Show, The Politician, Watchmen, and Westworld. Where's my fucking
Doo-doo-doo.
no?
No, just kidding. I'm Mandalorian.
Where's my
What we do in the shadows?
no Snowpiercer?
Oh, well, I think that was.
Was it too
Too late.
Might have
what's-
been too late
When's
then.
when's the window for the Emmys?
I don't know
that.
I don't know.
I feel like that show was too late because it only just ended.
And then Outstanding Limited Series, Little Fires Everywhere, Mrs. America, Unbelievable, Unorthodox should win. Watchmen will probably win. Gotta say, I will mention Ludwig Göransson because he did get nominated for The Mandalorian. His score is fantastic. And then Killing Eve got nominated for Outstanding Music Supervision. I thought that would get
The
you
music
exciting.
is so good in that show.
Ooh, Outstanding Original Main Title Theme Music, Carnival Row, Defending Jacob, Hollywood, Unorthodox, Why We Hate, Wu-Tang, and American Saga. Where's The Mandalorian? Outstanding Animated Program, we have Big Mouth, Bob's Burgers, BoJack Horseman, Rick and Morty, and The Simpsons.
Wow, that's it.
Yeah, I know.
They're
That's
kind of all the same style of show.
That's kind of a limited amount of.
Not great.
Yeah. Well, they're all like literally the same like adult level humor. Like they're not like I don't know.
I'll call it probably BoJack Horseman because that
Yeah.
ended. So
Yeah.
And then Outstanding Casting for a Comedy Series. I bring this one up because of a show that we all like. Curb Your Enthusiasm, Dead to Me, Insecure, Schitt's Creek, Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, and they didn't nominate any of the cast, but it got nominated for casting What We Do in the Shadows. So same thing, drama series, Big Little Lies,
Killing Eve.
Ozark, Succession, The Crown, Handmaid's Tale. And I think we're getting near the.
I just want to say Jodie Comer and Sandra Oh have won the Emmys for like lead actor or like all the awards for lead actor in drama series for the last like what are they on season 3 now?
How
the last
much
2
of-
years in a row.
Yeah.
So like this, I'd be surprised if this year anybody beats them as well. Beats either of them.
I think that about does it for all the big stuff. I'm going. Yeah, so that's it for the big stuff.
Okay.
Let's quickly talk snubs.
So I only have 2, and now once again, I don't know the window of the Emmys as to what they're working with and when the submission period ends. But I don't have the actress's name, but the actress who played Dodge in Lock and Key.
Yes.
She probably should have gotten a nod at the very least. And also another show which I think might be outside the window, but I'll still say it just in case it's not. is John Malkovich's role in Space Force. He was awesome.
I still have to watch that.
It's kind of slow to get going, but once it does, it's actually a very good watch. But John Malkovich plays like the lead scientist in the Space Force, and he's very like anti-military, but he's funny as hell. Like he has this very dry, like he's obviously smarter than everybody in the room, but he's just like, yeah, no, you can't do that because this rocket will blow up or something like that. And they're just like, he's just like, whatever, you're all idiots.
We already basically said it, but I'm disappointed none of the cast of What We Do in the Shadows didn't get a nod.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense to me, but whatever.
For me, like I don't know how or when they decide when like the Emmy cutoff date is or whatever, but obviously I would have thrown Snowpiercer and She-Ra in there. Just things out of like the top of my memory.
Yeah, there's
the
some
thing is, like,
weird snubs, right?
Yeah, because She-Ra ended like
I think She-Ra
2 months ago or something.
I think
3
She-Ra
maybe?
should have been in the window.
But
Maybe I'm wrong.
I don't know how it works or how they do it. But and I was also gonna say basically any like Latino or Latina, like there was no actors that were Latino or Latina like at all in this. One Day at a Time was up for lighting. I think it should.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Long way to go on
Yeah.
these awards. They are in September, on Sunday, September 20th. So we may or may not, we'll have to talk about it because we're technically going to be on hiatus. See if we're going to do a live show after. We'll talk about it and let you guys know. Let's move right along because we went way over on the Emmys. To Rotten Tomatoes 100 most rotten films of all time. Obviously, we're not going to cover all 100, but we are going to read down the list. Right at number 100 is 2006's Material Girls at 4%. Going to just briefly touch on this one. I think the only reason people remember 2006's Blood Rain at 4% is because of Christiana Loken's boobs in that movie. I think like that's...
I for one agree.
Yeah,
Second of all, I love that video game, which was Laura Bailey, one of her first roles. Sorry.
No, that's okay. Blood Rain was a horrible movie.
I've seen Blood Rain, and God,
Yeah.
that sucked.
The game was fun.
The game was fun. I like the game.
Her boobs are good.
That's what the double O in Blood.
I think.
You know how they draw it that certain way?
I think the whole thing with Christina Loken, I think is
Yeah.
her name. Like I think for a little bit, like she and Michelle Rodriguez were supposedly in a relationship,
Yep.
and that's where all the bro dudes are like, nice, and that's where
I
that-
ship it.
You would. Number 98 is A Little Bit of Heaven from 2012 at 4%. This looks like it has Anna Paquin in it. Darkness from 2004 at 4% at 97. This movie sucked. 96 is 2005's remake of the 80s, The Fog, at 4%.
Which isn't like, because I think I get The Fog and I think The Mist confused.
Yeah.
The Mist, which was like actually a decent movie.
Also based on a Stephen King story.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, I know that.
Number 95, why they ever made a sequel to this fucking movie, I'll never know.
I saw it in theaters.
Did
Dude.
you really?
Who
did.
didn't see Speed 2?
I didn't see it in theaters.
Well, I probably couldn't. When did it come
97.
out?
97.
97. Yeah, I
What were
It
you,
was-
like 3?
yeah, I was 3, so I did not see that one in
I
theaters.
still remember them bringing back a random black dude from the first movie who like Keanu Reeves wrecked his car. He's like, I just bought a condo here.
And then he runs out of it.
Yeah.
Sandra Bullock in Speed 2 Cruise Control at 4%. This movie also sucked. I'm sad to say I saw this at 94, 4%. 2006's The Covenant.
So I want to skip to 86 here.
Yeah,
just
we can
because-
scroll down, find some interesting. The Roommate. That's the one that came out before Friend Request and is still bad.
Oh, God.
And it's still
All right, so yeah, that's what we'll do. We'll just skip down the list until we see an interesting one.
The
here.
Adventures of Pluto Nash is legend in like the movie industry.
Is
I've
it
never
as
seen
being
it.
absolutely
yeah,
horrible.
I
It
feel like
is-
that has a cult following.
Yeah, it's like a terror. I've never seen it. I've only seen like people that have reviewed it, but it is I remember even Robot Chicken did a skit about it where it's like people in Hollywood were killing themselves because of how bad it was and its returns and all that.
I've come to the first movie on this list that I disagree with.
What's that?
Number 84, The Whole 10 Yards, the sequel to The Whole 9 Yards. It was not that
There was a
bad.
sequel?
Yeah.
What was
At
the 9 yards? Is that a
4%.
football movie?
No, The Whole 9 Yards was like Bruce Willis was like in the mob, and like I think he was in witness protection. It's got Matthew Perry in it and Amanda Peet. It's fine. It's like the description of the movie is a strange laugh-free sequel. The whole 10 yards recycles its predecessor's cast and plot, but not its wit or reason for being. God
Oh, damn.
I thought it was fine. Moving along.
I'm jumping to 78 if you got nothing in between.
No, let's do it. Go to
RoboCop 3. I saw it in theaters.
Dude, RoboCop 3. That's justified being on this list.
The samurai ninja robot. Like, I was kind of going through this list before we started talking about it. I'm like, maybe there aren't any I disagree with.
I don't remember this movie.
Oh God. So obviously RoboCop 1 and 2 are like
Classics.
Like the first one especially. The second one was a fun, movie, but then 3 he had a freaking jetpack at one point. But as I said, just think robot samurai ninjas or whatever. Because I remember there was one part where it's like somebody, I don't know if it's RoboCop or another character, like hits this one robot in the face, and like his jaw is like.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Is this the one where they put the city on lockdown?
I don't
like martial
law.
law.
I haven't seen it, but I remember I think I saw it in theaters. I could be wrong, but I just remember I was like, what was that?
And what's his name doesn't even come back to play Murphy. Yeah, I always forget his name.
Damn it, I can't remember his name.
I just kept scrolling and looking at the rest of the films. I'm glad I haven't seen the majority of these.
Yeah, same.
I know that you and I are gonna, when we get to number 61, you and I are gonna be like, this movie sucks, but we love it.
Yeah.
I found one that I love to hate.
This movie doesn't suck, unless it does, and I saw it as a kid, and I'm just lying. The Mod Squad at 69, 3%.
No, it sucks.
Maybe
I
erased.
remember seeing the trailer for it, and I was like, this looks terrible.
I saw the Mod Squad in theaters.
Of course. Wait, was it during your time when you were in that boarding school and you would have to see it on Saturday?
No, it was not. It was not.
Well, that would have justified it, Julian.
Oh God, fear.com at number 65. You said 61?
61. I know.
Yeah, I laughed when I saw it too.
Yes.
Coming in at number 61 at a whopping 3% rotten 2000s Battlefield
Yo,
Earth.
look at his. That's even more than a 5 head. That's like a 6 head.
Let's be clear here.
Like 4 or 5. 6.
Battlefield Earth sucks, but it is so much fun to watch.
It is so much fun.
It is so much goddamn fun to watch it with friends and just completely rip it apart.
Listen to this cast: John Travolta, Barry Pepper, Forrest Whitaker, and Kim Coates.
We should just watch that together.
Critics' consensus: ugly, campy, and poorly acted. Battlefield Earth is a stunningly misguided, aggressively bad sci-fi folly.
The 20-year anniversary of Battlefield Earth, everybody.
When?
It's 2000. It's this year.
Oh my God! Let's watch
Raiders
it.
of the Bargain Bin in
Later.
October.
Oh, God.
Moving along.
Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
I saw it in theaters.
57.
Yeah, that's
2%
that
rotten.
one.
That movie probably deserves a 0 or negative score.
that
It is
one-
so terrible.
I have it in like a double feature DVD pack, and every time I watch the first one, I go to put in the second. I'm like, no, don't
No,
do this to yourself.
no, it's-
because the first like 30 seconds, you're just like.
I think
Jesus.
all the ones that we talk about, we should read these critic consensuses because they're so good.
Yes.
Brittany, why don't you take this one?
Okay. With its shallow characters, low-budget special effects, and mindless fight scenes, Mortal Kombat Annihilation offers minimal plot development and manages to underachieve the low bar set by its predecessor.
Yikes.
Okay, the first one wasn't like that was pretty good for like a video game to movie, you know?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that's low. But it didn't have to do much to be good, and it just didn't do it.
Oh, my God. When I get to 27, I'll read that one.
Oh, wow. Yeah, there's not a lot to talk about.
Though there's
for
like
a
Police
good
Academy
chunk
4,
of this.
which
Oh
I
my
haven't
God.
seen so long.
Master of Disguise.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember that?
When a
Would you
turtle
read
enough
up
for the turtle
Club?
Guys, number 34, 2000 scenes Max Steel. I never saw it.
I don't know
Wait,
that
hold
one.
on. Let me
The trailer looked so bad.
I honestly thought it was the movie with Hugh Jackman at first when I first saw it.
Oh,
on the
yeah,
list. I'm
yeah.
like, no, it's because I looked at the
Oh,
cast.
yeah. I
Oh,
did
wait,
too.
guys. Okay, so who said number 27?
That was me.
Hit it, Matt.
Number 27, probably one of the prototypical bad movies, Highlander 2: The Quickening.
Oh, God.
The
Jesus
critics' consensus,
Christ.
there should have been only one.
That's the best critic
It should
consensus
only be
ever.
one.
Oh my God. I haven't sat down and watched Highlander 2 in God knows how long. And
Oh
it
my
is
God,
one of-
look who's talking now.
Oh, my God.
I actually like that movie.
Wait, is that a sequel to Look? Like,
There's Look Who's Talking
Holy
Too, and
shit.
Look Who's Talking Now was the dogs.
We are at the portion of this list, by the way, where these movies literally have zero.
Mac and Me. Holy shit.
Paul
yes.
Rudd's favorite
Mac
movie.
And Me.
Oh
Mac
my
and Me
goodness.
is everything. It's like if you watched E.T. and just completely removed everything that made E.T. good and tried to do the same exact plot.
If like most people have seen the Mac and Me clip, because whenever Paul Rudd is on
Yeah.
Conan's show, whenever he tries to like talk about like Paul Rudd always has Conan's people play the clip from Mac and Me where the kid goes off.
Yeah, he's like, roll the clip for Ant-Man, and it's fucking Mac and Me.
yeah.
All right, guys, let's move on to number 10. We'll just do the top 10 here.
Okay.
The Ridiculous Six from Netflix, where they tried to get like all the funny people and failed completely.
Yeah.
0%, starring Adam Sandler, Terry Crews, Taylor Lautner, and Steve Buscemi. The critics' consensus on The Ridiculous Six: every bit as lazily offensive as its cast and concept would suggest, The Ridiculous Six is standard couch fare for Adam Sandler fanatics and must avoid viewing for film enthusiasts of every other persuasion.
I'm gonna read 9 because I remember 9 very, very well.
Yeah.
Number 9 is Jaws: The Revenge, which, if you weren't sure which Jaws the movie that was, it's the 4th one, and it's the one where Brody's now
They made
widow.
4 Jaws.
I want to say they made 5.
Yikes.
Oh my
I
god.
feel like they made 5, but I could be wrong. But Jaws: The Revenge is when Brody's now widow is like says that the shark is hunting their family down to get revenge. Hence the thing Jaws: The Revenge. But critics' consensus: illogical, tension-free, and filled with cut-rate special effects, Jaws 4: The Revenge is a sorry chapter in a once proud franchise. Oh yes, I do agree.
I'm so glad I haven't seen any in this top 10 yet. I guess I'll do the next one. I guess this is number 8. The Last Days of American Crime. She came out this year.
Oh wow, yeah.
I don't really know what this is.
I guess. I've never heard of it.
The critic consensus: the crime is punishment.
Yikes.
Okay, so crime and punishment.
Number 7, National Lampoons. Of course, they'd be on this list. Gold Diggers from 2004.
Never even heard of that one.
It aspires to Farley level offensiveness, but the PG-13 rating and a dearth of decent gags renders Gold Diggers tame, toothless, and dull.
Wait, is that Will Friedle?
It is indeed.
No fucking way.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Number 6, Super Babies, Baby Geniuses 2.
This sounds like a winner.
They're all, dude, I remember seeing the trailers for these movies when they came out, and they all looked freaking terrible. Like, just babies that can talk. Just think about that.
I can't believe that like there was a time where anybody thought to make a film like this.
They made a sequel, though. That's
I know, but
Would
it's
you like
like-
to read the critics'
Yeah,
consensus?
God. A startling lack of taste pervades Super Babies, a sequel offering further proof that bad jokes still aren't funny when coming from the mouths of babes.
Oh, Brittany.
John Voight's in that?
Yeah, I guess.
Scott Baio.
Jesus. Am I doing the next one?
Number 5.
Oh, God.
Pinocchio. But not the one that people know and love from Disney, I guess, but the one that they made in 2002. Critics' consensus is Roberto Benigni,
Yeah.
Yeah.
sure, misfires wildly with this adaptation of Pinocchio, and the result is an unfunny, poorly made, creepy vanity project.
Oh, God.
Glenn Close was in this movie.
I swear, like, I've seen clips of this movie, and it is legit creepy because, you know, if you don't know who
need to open this
Roberto
up.
Benigni is, he is the director. He is an Academy Award-winning director of Life is Beautiful.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
He famously, like, walked across, like, the rows in the Oscars, across the seats, and this was the movie I think he made next.
Oh,
because he
yikes.
basically took that cred and turned it into this movie, and this movie was terrible.
A movie that I saw a trailer for and thought could theoretically be interesting, but is now number 4 on most rotten list here, is John Travolta playing John Gotti.
I like the critics' consensus.
Critic consensus is brilliant. Forget about it. That's it.
Oh, man.
Oh, God.
And number 3, I think it's back to me. Number 3 is Eddie Murphy's 1,000 Words, which I actually found the concept a little interesting about the movie. It's like, I forget what his character is, but like he basically, like, I don't know if it's an angel or some being basically curses him and says you can only say 1,000 words, and they're written like anytime you say a word, this thing falls from this tree and then like a leaf, and you'll die once it's totally empty. But obviously, Eddie Murphy hasn't made anything good or funny in years.
And also, if he's a fast-talking literary agent who can close any deal at any time, how is he going to survive not saying 1,000 words?
The critics' consensus actually mentions that.
Yeah, dated jokes. 1,000 Words was shot in 2008, and removing Eddie Murphy's voice, his greatest comedic asset, dooms this painful mess from the start.
That would be like telling me before recording a podcast.
You can't make any puns.
Well, not even. It's just like you can only say 1,000 words. You know how fast I talk?
After 10 seconds,
that.
you're halfway there, Brittany.
I'd be dead before the permitted minute. Oh, God. Okay. Next on the list is One Missed Call, which I think I remember hearing about this one, but I don't think I saw
it.
I like the poster. I like how the eyes are made of somebody's mouth.
Oh,
I hope screaming, but we don't know. And critics' consensus. One of the weakest entries in the J-horror remake sweepstakes. I fucking love that. What? One Missed Call is undone by bland performances and shop-worn shocks. So it wasn't like the Ju-on to the Grudge sort of thing that happened. It was worse.
And then coming in at number 1 is a movie I have never, ever, ever heard of.
I've heard of it.
From
I have.
2002, Ballistic X vs. Sever. Antonio Banderas, Lucy Liu, Greg Henry, and Ray Park. What a cast.
Yeah.
The critics' consensus, a startlingly inept film, Ballistic X vs. Sever offers overblown wall-to-wall action without a hint of wit, coherent style, or originality.
I say it's a perfect bargain bin watch.
Oh, boy.
But to be fair, I only know about this because of like Lucy Liu and Ray Park being in it. I totally didn't realize Antonio Banderas was.
I just had, oh man. So I told you guys what I want to do for the month of August for the site, what I'm going to subject myself to. And I might put a few of these movies into the pot. So,
do it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Obviously, these movies did not hit hard with audiences, but the films and television shows that we're about to talk about certainly did. So let's get into our next segment. Also, actually, real quick, if you think that Rotten Tomatoes missed anything on their top 100, well, we didn't read a bunch of them because they weren't worth our breath.
Yeah, we didn't even.
Let us know. Email us at permittedpod@gmail.com, and we will we'll let you know if we agree with you. All right, guys, film, television, and I'm going to say maybe a few games thrown in there that hit you hard-hitting moments. Matt, I'm just going to start with you. Which is your first?
As I said, we probably should have brought some tissues in because I'm probably going to get teary-eyed talking about a couple of these. But I actually added it to my list, and you thought it was a Star Trek reference. It is not.
Okay.
It is from I believe it's one of their little sidebar movies that they did for Babylon 5. And basically, I forget the title of it off the top of my head. I have to look it up. But they basically did this movie showing this war between the humans and this race called the Minbari, and basically humanity loses. Like, they lose bad. They're getting massacred by these people. And there's this final battle, which is like legendary in the Babylon 5 universe, called the Battle of the Line, where essentially like all of humanity just rallies together for one final stand to basically try and get people off Earth, to try and save as many as they can. And the whole time leading up to this, the character Londo talks about humanity's sacrifice, and he basically says, he goes, while other races would give in to despair and all that, he goes, humanity fought back with even greater strength. And he's like, I've never seen anything like it. He goes, when they ran out of ships, they used guns. When they ran out of guns, they used stones and knives. He goes, they were magnificent in their death. And he goes, they never ran out of courage. He goes, but they ran out of time. And that it leads up to that battle where the president of Earth basically says, like, we've been broadcasting our surrender, and she's like, I'm asking all of you to do one final stand. And it's a huge moment. It's such a powerful, sad thing, like, leading up to it, and it gets me every time. So, yep.
Good start. Damn.
I think it's possible to one-up that somehow. So I will by saying Lord of the Rings, Return of the King. Because in the last 30 minutes of that film, I cry like nonstop every time.
You
and I
bow
watched it
to
so much.
no one.
Exactly.
I thought about adding that moment, but I figured somebody would.
Okay, so first I'm going to say Sam's speech as he's carrying Frodo, and he's just like, you know, like, he's so ready to give up, and he's just like, no, Mr. Frodo, like, there's still things that are worth fighting for, and like, it just gives me chills every time. And then later on you have, you know, the for Frodo moment where they think Frodo's dead, but they're still going to like keep fighting. And then later on when Aragorn's like, "No, my friends, you bow to no."
You bow to
Like,
no.
there's so much in that final act of that movie that's just like hit after hit after hit, and you think you can't get back up, but just like Frodo and Sam, you keep pushing.
I can't carry the ring, Mr. Frodo, but I can carry you.
But I can carry you.
Such
Yeah.
people sometimes bitch that movie had like 7 different endings and like they could have cut some of them. Like, I loved every one of those endings, especially in the
Yeah.
extended edition.
They're all perfect.
I've never watched the extended. I really need to.
You really need to.
I have DVDs.
I got to set aside about 18 hours of my time. But
Yes.
Yeah. Lord of the Rings. We watch it all the time in my house, but
I wonder why. It's not like your brother has a giant Lord of the Rings tattoo on his arm.
Yeah, and also I bought him like 3 statues for his birthday this year. We love it.
Julian.
I have so many on my list.
Oh, I got more.
Don't
than a
know
few.
where to start. I mean, I do know where I'm going to start, but I could have started with any of these. My first one is from the Battlestar Galactica episode.
Oh.
Yeah, you might know where I'm going with this. Maelstrom, where Kara dies.
I still haven't watched Battlestar, so
Oh my God!
I have the whole Blu-ray box set. Do you want to borrow it?
I own it digitally.
Matt, the show came out in 2004. I
Nah,
almost
it's
don't feel
fine.
bad about spoiling
It's
it.
fine.
He doesn't care enough.
Am I on the right thing here?
I don't know.
I'm not even gonna bother. Kara, during this episode, they're in this crazy, like, I think it's like a gas giant. There's like a maelstrom, and they're doing their flight patrol. And Kara's just kind of been like starting to go crazy. She thinks that she's seeing Cylon raiders in the maelstrom, and none of the other pilots are seeing them. And of course, Lee, who has always been faithful to Kara and like is her bestie, is like, listen, if you say there's a Cylon raider in there, there's a Cylon raider in there with you. I'll fly your wing. I'll go in there with you. And she, as they're flying the cap, she says she sees the raider, and she keeps going down. And of course, Matt, you can maybe help me with the terms, because it's like you might know it. Like when like there's a barrier, like when you could fly, and if like you go below that barrier, you're gonna basically it's like a pressure barrier.
I don't know the term for it off the top of my head.
Anyway, like if she was going to hit that wall, and if she hit that wall, her ship was going to crack up. And she keeps like, what's interesting about the way they film the scene is that you can see, the viewers can see the raider even though it's not there. But Lee, obviously, who's flying her wing, can't see anything. And it wasn't actually there.
Yeah.
And she breaks that wall, and the Viper just breaks up, and oh my God. And in a season 1 episode, Kara disappears once, and they think she's dead, and they keep like flying and trying to find her. And it's like a very there's this great moment between Lee and Adama. He's like, "What if it was me, Dad? Would you say would you come back for me?" And oh God, Adama's
Dude,
like,
my hair's
"I know, I see it as." And Adama's like, "If it was you, son, we would never stop." I was like,
Yeah.
now I'm getting the goosebumps.
That's when they start to like somewhat repair their. Oh God.
But
But then she takes over that one Cylon ship, and
it's so badass.
so-
But then this is kind of like a twofer, because it's well, no, you know what? I'm not gonna spoil anymore, because at least Matt can get that surprise.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
I
not
know where
gonna-
you're going
You know where I'm
next,
going
yeah.
next. So I'll just leave it at Maelstrom. Dude, there are so many great episodes of Battlestar. I could like do my entire list for this section of the show just from Battlestar, but I won't. So Matt, back to you.
So one of my favorite, and it's probably the moment that made me realize how much I loved the show, is from The Office, and it is the episode when Pam tries to show off her art, and
Oh, my God.
and she's there, and like everybody, like all these people are even people she works with that actually show up are talking shit about her paintings and drawings and stuff like that, and Michael shows up. And Michael is just completely awestruck by Pam. He's like, "This is great. I love it. It's amazing. It's beautiful." And then he turns to her and he just says, "I'm really proud of you." And that moment always gets me, because as somebody pointed out, Jim, the supposed love of her life, is never even there for her, but Michael is there for her.
I've never seen The Office.
Yeah, and it's a fantastic show. And and Michael is there for her, and Michael encourages her, and it actually, like, her character grows as a result of it, and then she basically like becomes more of an artist as the show goes, because Michael encourages her, and it's such a great moment from Steve Carell and all that. Just the subtle delivery and all that. It's fantastic. And she like, even though she doesn't like Michael, like she just basically gives him a hug without saying a word because of how much it means to her.
Yeah. Good one.
Oh boy. I have so much, and I keep adding more to my list. I purposely like didn't write it out ahead of time because I knew like. it would
Oh
just
yeah,
keep
no,
popping
me
in my head.
too. Yeah.
Shit. Okay, this one I'm gonna do as a two-parter because they're connected via one song. So, I love the song "Take on Me," like great song. You know,
doesn't like
I
that
love
song?
like 80 songs. Yeah, but the show The Magicians. I don't know if you continue
Not
watching
caught
that.
up.
Okay. The season 4 finale, sorry, has a really like intense scene that happens involving somebody's like sacrifice to make sure that everybody else is able to literally save the world. And it's a slow motion scene, and this certain song plays like, and you just see them literally be destroyed by magic itself. Like it's beautiful, but it's haunting. Afterwards, the remaining characters kind of like sit around the fire and they sing a song to remember this other character. But the thing is, every season, The Magicians does like a musical episode.
Yeah.
And it's really great. But that season, I remember their musical episode happened, and I was like, I feel like they didn't have like a big song though. Like it was good, but it wasn't like the previous season. So I was kind of like, oh, it was an okay musical episode. But then I realized why. Because they saved their hard-hitting song for that episode. And every time I hear Take On Me on the radio, aside from like I love it and it's like a happy 80s song for me, like it also has this like really hard-hitting emotional layer to it because it's a different like acoustic version they're like singing, and it's slowed down and they're singing it to remember him, and like just the way it's sung by the characters, like I like was like bawling so much my shirt was wet. I went over to my cousin's house and we watched the finale together again, and he was crying, like, so that gets me. Then I played The Last of Us Part 2. And then Ellie plays on her guitar in a part that you can miss in the game if you don't like search every shop. You have to make sure you go to a music shop in Seattle day one. And she finds an acoustic guitar because finally Joel taught her how to play. And she starts playing an acoustic version of Take On Me. It's not exactly the same version that was sung, but hers is more like a loving rendition that she's singing to Dina. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, it's also foreshadowing what's happening in the game because she's focusing so much on revenge for something that's happened to her that last line, like, I'll be gone in a day or two, like, you know, as much as you want things to turn out well, you're like, oh man, this song has so many layers. So now I love the song on 3 different levels. So now when I hear it, I think, yeah, I love this song. Oh my God, this song hurts. Oh, it's kind of in between. So yeah.
I'm going to move over to film for a second and talk about the last 10 or so minutes of Gladiator.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
Talk about getting me every single time. So there's that scene at the beginning of the movie when, Maximus is named new Caesar by Caesar, and then Commodus is having nothing of it. And he's like, goes to Quintus to be like, we're going to basically arrest Commodus. And Quintus is like, no, we're going to kill you, and you'll see your wife in the afterlife. And then the movie comes full circle, and as they're fighting, the Centurions try to start like defending Commodus, and because Commodus drops his sword, and Quintus kicks his sword away. And I'm like, Quintus is back. And like you said, like, she's your swords. And he's helping Maximus because Commodus had stabbed him in the lung coming up. And then just that whole scene where he's dying, but he's like, Quintus, gather so-and-so, Rome is to be a republic again. And then his girl,
the elite.
played by Lucilla, played by Connie Nielsen, is like, honor him, it's
I like the scene from that when he's kind of walking through the field and the song. I think the song's Elysium is the song that's playing.
Elysium.
Yeah, and then when she says like you're home, and that's when he's dead.
Yeah, you're home. Yeah, probably to this day still my favorite film score of all time from Hans Zimmer.
Yeah, it's good. Definitely a good score.
And just those final 10 minutes of Gladiator, I'm getting goosebumps just talking about it. Just like when she says honor him, I just I love it. Anyway.
So I'll go movie as well. So I actually just watched this movie again recently, and the scene still gets me every time. Is from Road to Perdition. If anybody's seen it,
It's been a while, but it's a great film. Yeah.
But Paul Newman and Tom Hanks. You know, it was one of Paul Newman's last like actual in appearance roles ever. He plays a mob boss by the name of John Rooney, who basically raised the Mike Sullivan character played by Tom Hanks. And long story short, Tom Hanks is trying to kill him. And the scene where he does, it's completely silent, and except for the score, where he's shooting down his bodyguards, and it's raining and everything, and he walks up to him and everything. He's standing there with a Tommy gun. And Paul Newman just, like, the whole time he just has his back turned to him because he knows what's coming. He just turns and looks back at him and just says, "I'm glad it's you."
Yes.
And then Tom Hanks is like trying not to, because it was basically his father who raised him. And he just slowly just points the Tommy gun and just shoots him down in the street. And that's kind of how he gets his vengeance for his family that's killed earlier in the movie. And it's a fantastic scene. Like,
it is.
Like,
yeah.
everything about that scene I love, and it always gets me just of like how well it's done and how hard emotionally it hits.
I've only seen it once, and I have to watch it again because it was such a damn good film. I saw that in theaters.
So did I think, yeah.
I love hard-hitting moments because sometimes they're like hype moments, and most of the time they're just like, oh, they really hit you in the heart.
Mm-hmm.
So one I'm going to bring up is Ex Machina. I love that movie. I remember the first time I watched it, like, just having this really like visceral reaction to like the ending of the film. I don't know if you guys have seen it or not.
I haven't. I do want to watch it.
Oh God, then I can't bring it up.
You could spoil it for me.
Yeah, you
I
can
don't
spoil
care.
it. It's fine.
No.
No.
I can't because it'll ruin the experience. But I'll just say the end of the movie, the way it's shot, the specific last scene that happens, it does so much for the characters and your understanding of the entire story and what's actually happening, that when a certain character in the scene makes a decision and gives the other character I can't say it when I'm going to a character gives a look and does a certain action at the end of that scene, and immediately I was like, wow. I was sitting at my desk in France, watched this illegally online, and I was like, oh my God, I need to watch this again. Because it was just amazing. Like, I was like, there was no other way it could have ended. Anybody that argues it was not watching the same film. They were watching from the wrong perspective. So
Yeah.
It's just one of those endings that I was just like, wow. And it sticks with you. Because I remember I just sat and watched through the credits, and I was just like, it was replaying on my mind. And I was just like, wow. Okay, I'm going to watch it again. So it's not sad. It's not happy. It's like in between, depending on what perspective you watch. If you watch from one person's perspective, it's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
You watch from the other, you're like, hell yeah, bitch.
I'm gonna move, I guess, from like one medium to the next. So I did TV, I did film. I am gonna cheat here and go to a video game. I still say that Horizon Zero Dawn is one of the most hard-hitting video games ever made, and I will say the part of the game, and I guess it's because there's cutscenes, when the main door finally opens in their camp, right? I forget the exact name of it. I think it's the Gaia room, and Aloy basically figures out like what happened to humanity and how humanity started coming back, and how basically all these people were made and born and had no humans to help them. It was all like artificial intelligence and holograms, and just like how deep that hit me. Like, for some reason, like I was just like, holy shit, these poor people had nothing. Like, no human interaction. They had to learn everything on their own and from like computers, and like just like it's kind of like the circular room, and it's just very, I don't know. There's something just very like
cold and sterile.
cold and sterile and like visceral about it, and that scene just like always gets me, because like you kind of think when you're going in there you might find something hopeful, and instead you just find like, holy shit. And they went through this a couple times because it was like a failed experiment a couple times. It's just such a great game. It's just a great moment in the game too, because there's not a lot of like, like upbeat parts of that game, and you think for like a hot second, oh, this might be no, just more sadness and crying, and oh man, yeah.
I think I should start bringing up like happier, like hard hitting moments, or like, ah, shit.
I'd have to do a different segment for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
All right, Matt.
All right, so I'll go video game, and I thought of it when you were talking about it, even though it's kind of melancholy, but it's from the game Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time. The first one is because basically the entire game is told almost as like a story to the princess and everything that is essentially your companion through the entire game. And obviously at the end, he essentially goes back to the moment before his father's forces attack this kingdom, which sets in motion the entire events of the game. And obviously in the entire game, they become lovers and stuff like that. You know, they have a romantic thing going on. And then he basically tells her, like, look, tell your father to stop this attack, to like fight off his forces. And then he basically kisses her because to him, like, they still have that connection, but she has no idea who he is. And she's like, whoa, you're, you know, who are, and he hits the button to rewind time. And he just kind of stands there and looks at her and he just says, you know, all right, and I told you my story, now it's time for me to go. And she goes, well, wait, what's your name? And he kind of goes like, call me Kalaluki, which is like the name that her mother gave her, which was like a pet name her mother had only called her. And he just runs off as soon as he says it. And that's when she's like, wait, what? And because he would have no way of knowing that. It was a really good moment. I really liked it a lot. And it kind of brought the entire story like full circle to me. So
Nice.
I love it. Fills my heart with joy. Just gonna keep mentioning really sad moments, I guess. I love a lot of the Wachowskis' works. So like Matrix, Sense8 I've talked about before. That's another show where I could probably bring up a few moments. But they did the movie Cloud Atlas, which is based on a book. And the movie, I think I've discussed it before, covers like 8 different people's lives and in different periods of time. And it's all about their, like the idea that some person's soul could like be reincarnated over time, where you live all these different lives. And maybe you start on a path that's good and you go bad, or you become bad then good, or you're somewhere in between along the way. There's the way that the movie is set up. It's a very powerful movie because all the high points of the movie and all the low points of the movie happen across all the time periods at the same time. So it builds like layers and layers and layers on you, because you'll feel like when the movie's getting suspenseful, or like this person's going to get caught in, you know, this timeline. Oh, now they're being, you know, they're fighting for their freedom in this timeline, vice versa. It starts compounding and building up. And one thing that happens is the main character, Sun Mi, in the Neo Soul timeline, which is our future, like after the world sinks due to global warming and stuff. In her timeline, she's trying to remind humanity of all these things that are like ideas of revolution, because she actually learns about all these older texts, and then she's like, we need to revolt. This is not okay what's happening to us, blah, blah, blah. And as you see all these really like hard-hitting moments from every time, it builds up to her moment of final defiance as she's caught, because all of her rebel group is basically killed in front of her, including the man she loves. And she's standing there, and the whole time she's giving an address that's being recorded and sent out all over the world so that people know the truth about what's happening. She gets caught in having known that the truth is out there. Hugo Weaving's character actually says to her, like, how do you know they're going to believe you? And she says, well, actually, it's not his character, it's a different one, sorry. A character says to her, like, how do you know they're going to believe you? And she says, well, someone already does, meaning the man that's talking to her. And she sent out her radio waves, so everybody knows. But then she's taken to another room, and you find out that what happens to people like her, because they're all kind of like replicated beings that are used for labor. They go through this process where they get like stamps on like their collars or whatever, and that basically I think they do it every year, and it's like their life cycle. So at the end, they're taken away, and it's supposed to be like this ascendancy that happens. But really, they're taken to a room where they're just killed and pulled, like, metal bar goes through their legs, and they drag them off like you would a fish.
Yeah.
So in that final scene, like, she already pretty much knows her fate. She sits there, and, like, you just see the life leave her eyes. Like, the actress is so good. I love her so much. But it just goes, like, chunk, and then, like, she just slumps in her seat, and they drag her off. And the thing is, you understand she's such an important character, and all these things she's strived for, and what she says and her actual likeness becomes like a deity to people in the future.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the people that survive after the fall of humanity. So they are like Sun Mi's teachings, blah, blah, blah. And you know she was a real person.
Yeah.
So you're like, this is crazy. They think she's a god. And I don't know. It just like, but that moment, I saw it in college, and I just like started crying immediately. And I was just like, wow. I thought about that movie for like probably months after I saw it.
When Tony
I knew it.
takes the gauntlet, I am Iron Man, and he's dying. And it's not just when Tony's dying, but it's the way that Gwyneth Paltrow as Pepper reacts to Tony dying, where she in that moment needs to be strong and just say, you can rest now, it's okay. And she's so strong, and then he dies and she just breaks. Oh my God, it's just one of the best moments in a movie I'll like ever. I know you don't love the movie.
No, I love that part.
But God damn that moment.
That's great characterization on her part, and the fact that like Peter is like trying to like console him or talk to him, and she's just like, let me handle it.
Yeah. And you know, Rhodey, who also kind of has to be strong, is in the background, but like he's crying too, and it's just like, God damn, like if you talk about executing a moment that needed to be executed perfectly, they executed it more than perfect.
Yeah. If Tony was gonna die, they did it well.
Exactly. So yep.
So my next moment comes from the movie Big Fish. Has anybody ever seen that?
Yeah,
saw it once as a kid.
Once, yeah.
So Big Fish is it actually has quite a good cast on. I was pulling it
Just
up.
real quick, this is also our last go around.
Okay, so yeah, Ewan McGregor's in it as well as Albert Finney, Jessica Lange, and all that. But long story short, this Billy Crudup's dad who is basically dying, and his dad throughout his entire life has told these really tall tales about his life and all that stuff like that. And he kind of resents his dad for it because he's like, you've never been honest with me. You've always just told these, you know, these weird tales that nobody ever believes or anything. But anyway, the end of the movie though is his dad is finally like starting to go, and his dad is like, you need to finish my story. And he's like, I don't tell these tales, Dad, that's you. And he's like, you have to finish it. And he basically on the spot comes up with this story about how his dad suddenly miraculously gets better and how he becomes like a big fish because, you know, he was a big fish in the small pond in this little town his whole life. And Albert Finney's last words as the character is he's like, that's how the story ends, Dad. And he just goes, exactly. And his dad dies. And it's a really big moment about trying to understand your parents and like where they came from and all that. And anybody I know who's seen it has like connected with their own family in some way. Because my mom had a pilot who watched it and he said it made me think of my dad.
Oh, wow.
You know, because of that and all that. And it's a really great moment, really great scene. I don't want to go into further detail about it because it's really good to watch.
Oh man, my hair's already standing up thinking about like the moment I'm about to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
So I've mentioned before the show The OA, and I've vaguely explained it to you guys. Because it's about that girl that's like blind. She disappears for a while and she comes back and suddenly she can see. It's a lot of weird sci-fi stuff that happens with it. But it also involves traveling to, let's say, like parallel universes or dimensions. Like that's an aspect of it. So along her journey in season 1, she befriends these like high school kids that all like, you know, they think she's really weird. They want to hear her story about like how she came back. So she befriends them and she tells them about everything that happened. And the way that she escapes her captor involved other people that were also abducted and captured. They do these things that they call like movements. Basically, like it looks like a dance, like all these different things, positions. You do these weird breaths. And all together, these people had a power that as a whole circle of those people doing those movements, supposedly they could hop to another dimension or like travel some way. And that's what their abductor was trying to use them for. It's the only way of doing it without spoiling. So she teaches the kids about it, and like they're so into her story and stuff, they practice on their own. Like they're convinced that they can do it too. And the characters all have a falling out towards the end of the season because they're starting to wonder maybe she is just crazy and she's making all this up. Like how can we really believe her? And the kids are at school. Their friendships start to fall apart a little bit because they're all a bunch of different misfits that didn't really belong together as friends, but that kind of held them together. And one of the people that's part of their friend group is also their teacher. Because she, like, all of them find this connection with this woman. And if you watch in the background before the scene, you can see it coming, but most people don't when you watch the show. But something happens at the school, and it is one of the most realistic scenes I've ever seen in my life. Like, my hair stands up on edge. It is terrifying. And the kids, all they know in that moment is they're just like, they just believe, like, they don't even know if it's really going to work or not, but they all stand up and they start doing the movements to try and stop what's happening. And they all do it over and over and over again. And by the time it ends, and it like the music and the show builds this amazing theme that happens, she sensed that something bad was going to happen, and she was having like these dreams about it. So she ends up running to the school. And at the last second, she was there also doing the movements with them. And it alters their reality. Somehow the event was able to stop. but you look over and something happens to her because of when she showed up during the timing. Like, that's the only way I can explain it without ruining it. But to this day, that ending, that's just, please watch season 1, man. Oh my God. So sad it got canceled.
I'm going to wrap it up with something that we talked about recently, and that is the final 4 and really the final 2 episodes of Star Wars The Clone Wars.
Ooh,
and Ahsoka getting Ahsoka's point of view of Order 66, transporting Maul to Coruscant, and then having Rex and her clone brigade turn on her. And then being able to then fix Rex and then basically go through the Star Destroyer, having to refusing to kill these people that have been by her side and loyal to her for years and years, even though their sole objective is to kill her. And it is just so emotionally tearing because how much she cares. And Rex is fucking crying. Like, he's like, I know you don't want to hurt them, but their only mission is to kill you. And it's just like, I will not hurt them. That is the least that I could do for them, even though she knows that they're all going to die anyway.
Yeah.
She won't kill them. And then just as they, bury, they bury
every single one,
all of them at the end, like the loyalty. And then I would say probably it doesn't matter if it's animated or live action, one of the most eerie scenes and endings to a show ever. It's been a few years and the Star Destroyer is covered in snow and the bodies, the burials are covered in snow, and Vader lands on the planet. And he finds Ahsoka's saber and he just lights it. And that's how the show ends. And it's just like,
dude, I cried the whole last 4 episodes of that show, like nonstop. It was
Dave
amazing.
Filoni is a fucking genius. And the fact that could hit harder than anything that happened in the sequel trilogy is a testament to that man. And Ahsoka, and it further cements that Ahsoka is the future of Star Wars and the best character that they have going for them right now. That is just excellent television all day.
Yeah.
So,
and now I'm sad again.
Does anybody have a quick runner-up that they just want to just say without going into detail? Anything that we missed that you really wanted to say?
I'll just say briefly, and everybody who's seen this movie knows exactly what movie it is when I say 2 lines from it. You are who you choose to be. Superman. I knew Brittany would know exactly what movie it is.
I cry every time robots are involved, period. So, Blade Runner, Tears and Rain, that whole monologue, bro. All these things will be lost in time, like tears and rain. Time to die. Also ad-libbed a bit.
So many good moments. Hate to leave you on a sad note, folks, but next week we're going to have a lot of fun. It is going to be the return of the Raiders of the Bargain Bin. Matt is just giving me the eyeballs. And then I'm just going to say it now. Get your collections out, guys. We are going to be talking about some of our favorite toys and see if we can scrounge up anything fun in here that we can talk about. So for Matt, for Brittany, I'm Julian. Have a good night.
You can find Everything is Permitted on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and YouTube. Everything is Permitted is produced by Rob Migliaccio, Nikki Veazey, and Geneva Stein-Shivers. Our executive producers are Michael Cox, Brittany Tomes and the Tomes family, and Julian Brown.